The Messiah is knocking at the door. The question is whether you are listening to him. What I'm going to tell you is something spectacular that can change your life in practical, pragmatic, real-world terms. Your life as it is, your routine life, and even the way you think about life can be turned around for the better, God willing. Easy, accurate, and available updates. Spectacular. Messiah, the era of the Messiah, the land of Israel, the people of Israel. Spectacular. Geographic politics, geopolitics, economy, spirituality. Many, God willing, we will see in this video that these are not just abstract ideas, but ideas that if you incorporate them into your life can truly change your life. There is a concept in the Torah called Torah Haim. Torah Haim means Torah of life. The Torah is never just up there. The Creator always gives the Torah to the people of Israel and to the whole world. For what purpose? To live by it, to do His will, God willing, with joy and a good heart. What do I mean by the Messiah? He is knocking at the door, and the question is whether you are listening. This is actually a question, but it is also a reality. You need to know, and I want to give you some excellent news, a real bombshell that maybe you didn't know. That you are living, yes, you are living, and we are all living today in the era of the Messiah. The Messianic era, as it's called in Hebrew, Yemot HaMashiach. What does this mean? Impressive. Does it mean that the Messiah has really arrived now? No, the Messiah hasn't arrived yet, but listen to this Psalm, Psalm 95. So in Psalm 95 verse 7 it says like this. I'm saying the part that starts differently, but now I'll tell you what I want to say, which has to do with this about knocking at the door. It says like this, I'll say it in Spanish. Today if you hear His voice, or in Hebrew, Hayom im beko lo tishmau. What does it mean? If you hear His voice. And here, this is something amazing that I'm going to reveal to you. Impressive, impressive. Let's reason, let's reason. First, I want to tell you something that you probably already know. Obviously, the people of Israel experienced something tremendous, something incredible that happened in recent years, in recent decades. In other words, the state of Israel declared its independence in 1948. This obviously comes from a process, obviously, that started much earlier, obviously. But at the state, governmental, and national level in 1948. Just a few days ago, we celebrated the Independence Day of the State of Israel. In Hebrew, it's called Yom HaAtzmaut. Very good. Now, what happened that day? That day, officially, the independence of the State of Israel was declared. And after 2,000 years of exile, the people of Israel declared their independence in their state, in their land. Let's go now first to a verse from the Torah, from the Pentateuch of the Bible. And that's how we're going to start diving into the Bible. We are also going to dive into the words of the prophets, which is obviously part of the whole Tanakh, the Tanakh of the Bible, the 24 books of the Tanakh. Impressive, spectacular. Let's go first to the Bible, the Pentateuch, Deuteronomy. It says like this. The book of Deuteronomy says this. In chapter 30, it says, the Creator will bring you back. Obviously, He is speaking to the people of Israel. He will bring you back from your captivity, from your diaspora, from your galut, that's in Hebrew. He will gather you from among all the peoples, even if you are at the ends of the heavens. Even if you're in the United States, I mean, in my own words, in the United States, in Hungary, in Montevideo, in Rio, in Buenos Aires, in Australia, in Denmark, in Yemen, in Africa, Ethiopia, Russia. Wherever you are, from all the ends of heaven, from all the cardinal points of the planet, there, it says, from there He will gather you. That is, the Creator, obviously, and He will bring you to the land that your fathers inherited, obviously Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which is the land that the Creator, as it is written, obviously in the Torah, explicitly gave to our patriarchs. Obviously, we are their descendants, and therefore it is for the people of Israel. And this is already written in the Pentateuch, in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, that's already there if we go to the Bible. Now, if we go a little further, now I'm going to tell you other verses from the prophets. I'll tell them to you in Spanish, so it's much easier for us to understand each other. Obviously, the source is in Hebrew, of course, but to make it quicker and easier, I'll tell you in Spanish. And from these verses, the ones I'm going to give you, I want to put together a lesson for you that God willing will give you an amazing light and joy. Because what I told you at the beginning, that this knocking on the door, that the Messiah is knocking on the door today in our time. Obviously, as I told you, Mashiach ben David Tzidkenu, the Messiah, the son from the house of King David Tzidkenu, obviously, he hasn't arrived yet. We're waiting for him here at any moment, but obviously there's a knocking on the door. On a metaphorical level, that's what's happening, the prophecies that are happening today. And the question is, are you seeing it? First, are you seeing it? And that's a bit of the goal, or largely the goal of this class, to open your eyes and your heart and to give you a lot of hope and joy, which is the whole reason for this class. Hope, joy, emunah in Hebrew, faith in the Creator, faith in the spectacular process we are living through. It's impressive, that's on one hand, and on the other hand, to see how with this information. As I told you at the beginning, Torah Chaim, a Torah of life, how with that you become the greatest gift the Creator gives you, which is to be a partner with the Creator in His creation. You have to know that with every little thing you do, say, or every good thought you have, you place a stone, a cornerstone in the building of redemption and of the tikkun, as they say in Hebrew, the correction of the Creator's world for His creatures, which is us. Therefore, you just imagine you can say with great joy, I have the merit for every good word I say, every good action I do, every good thought I have. I lay a cornerstone in the great Beit HaMikdash, in the great holy temple, on a metaphorical level. Redemption applies to both the people of Israel and the whole world. It's not exclusive or private to Israel. Not at all. All we want as the people of Israel is redemption for the whole world. We are deeply universalist. The goal is to be a light to the nations, to repair the Creator's world, being partners with the Creator. Impressive, as I said, is the greatest gift the Creator gives to His creatures, which is to tell you you have free will, you can choose, it is said in Hebrew, it is written in the Torah, and you will choose life. Every moment of your life, you have the possibility to choose good. Impressive, and that is a gift that only human beings have. And it's spectacular. It's the greatest thing the Creator gives you, free will, the possibility to truly choose good, spectacular, to choose life, impressive. So I'm going to keep diving with you through the seas of the Torah. Now let's listen to what the prophets say. The prophet Ezekiel says this. Obviously, I'm quoting parts of verses that are very condensed and summarized just to give you the general idea. Obviously, if you want to go deeper, you can, of course, but this is basically so that it resonates with you, the spiritual and holy melody of the Torah. I will take them from among the nations and bring them to their land. Very well. The book of Isaiah will gather the dispersed of Israel from the four corners of the earth. Very well. Book of Ezekiel. Once again, the land will yield its fruit for my people Israel, because they are about to return. Here, let me make a brief aside. And before I tell you what the prophet Amos of blessed memory, all the prophets, all the saints says, I'm going to tell you something incredible. In the year 1867, the great and famous American writer Mark Twain came to the land of Israel. He wrote a diary, and in that diary it's clear, obviously, that he was astonished by how desolate and barren the land of Israel was. He really said, and I'm paraphrasing a bit from what I remember, that he could barely see a cactus along the road, and it was hard to see even a single person on the road. Let me add, as for fruit trees, there were practically none. Today, if you've had the blessing of coming to the land of Israel, or if you are blessed to come to the land of Israel, you know what it is, right? It's a garden, it's a paradise on earth, spectacular green gardens, fruit trees. Obviously, you know that we are exporters of citrus fruits. Among other things, we are exporters, and today, of course, also of technology. The land of Israel has an impressive abundance, material, spiritual, and of course, technological, as you know. It's spectacular, exporters of high tech, it's impressive. But what happened not so many years ago in 1867, not thousands of years ago, not that long ago, Mark Twain, the famous writer, says, if I remember his words in English correctly, he says, a dreary heart. Heartbroken land. Something like, it's a land so desolate it breaks your heart. It's written that when the people of Israel are not in their land, the land will be desolate. It's written in our scriptures. Spectacular. And that's what happened, like I told you before at the beginning, 2,000 years of exile. The people of Israel, far from their land, our sages explain, the great Kabbalists, that the people of Israel are like the soul, and the land of Israel is like the body. When body and soul are not together, which are the 2,000 years of exile, persecutions, pogroms, inquisitions, the Holocaust, what happened? The land was desolate, a dreary, heartbroken land, as he said, land, as Mark Twain said, a land that breaks your heart because of how desolate it is. But what happened some decades ago, because it was before the official declaration of the State of Israel was actually made? Jews had already started to come. Obviously, we didn't just come. The Creator began to bring us slowly, and now obviously much more. We are millions, thank God, and the people of Israel, as I told you, we are the soul, and the land of Israel is the body. United, it is a flourishing garden. And it's even going to the markets. You go to the markets, to the fairs, you have no idea what the fruit is like, what colors, what flavors, what shapes, spectacular, big fruits. Sometimes you see Raimon, pomegranates, big burgundy, red burgundy, shiny, or you see lemons, oranges, grapefruits, sometimes giant grapefruits. It's incredible, spectacular. And that, think about it, in 1867, Mark Twain, I'm telling you as an example, that you could barely even find a cactus. But what happened? The people of Israel, thank God, with divine grace, the Creator brings us to the land, body and soul unite, and the land flourishes. So I told you I'll wrap up this brief aside, and now let's dive into what the prophet Amos says. They will rebuild desolate cities, plant vineyards, and eat their fruit. They will drink the wine we harvest from our gardens. And then the prophet Amos also says, I will plant them in the land, in their land, and they will never again be uprooted from it, says the Creator. Impressive. Therefore here, obviously, as we said, this is not only a concrete physical return or geopolitical issues or migration issues. No, this is redemption before our eyes. But what happens, and that's how I started this class, is that the Messiah, on a metaphorical level, obviously, as I told you, he hasn't arrived yet. We're still waiting for him here. Any moment now, but these historical, geopolitical, economic, technological, and spiritual milestones are like knocks on the door that the Creator sends, obviously, and it's like, on a metaphorical level, obviously, it's like the Messiah wants to come. And the question is whether we, on an internal level, want to listen. Therefore, here we need to see something very, very fundamental, that the Messiah, God willing, will come. Today, very soon, Mashiach ben David Zidkenu, the Messiah, son of the house of King David Zidkenu, will obviously come. But you have to know, as I told you before, you have to know that the Creator gives us the book and free will to in some way hasten the redemption. What does it mean to hasten? At the moment we become partners with the Creator in His world and in His redemption, the fact is that, as I told you, every good word you say, every good action you do, every good thought you have, in some way, it's like you open the door to the Messiah, to Mashiach ben Tzidkenu, and you open the door, that is, you unlock the door and open it for Him. You have to understand that all of us, as I told you, we are all partners in the Creator's creation. Impressive. It's not something passive where the Messiah comes from heaven automatically. Obviously, the goal is, like everything, like all our work, for the Creator. To Hashem, to Hakadosh Baruch Hu, it's obviously to do good, to be partners in His creation. Not to wait with crossed arms and say, I hope things go well for me. I hope to have this, I hope to have that, and I hope the Messiah comes. No, that's not ideal. Obviously, you have to have absolute faith, but absolute faith is acquired by living a life of spiritual perfection, Alignment with the will of the Creator, doing better, speaking better, thinking better. Basically, through, as I told you, our free will, being partners and protagonists in the redemption that the Creator has for us, for great blessing. So this is spectacular. It's spectacular to feel that you are a partner in the redemption, in this redemption that is, as I told you before, it's for the blessing of the whole world, as I told you. In Hebrew, the book of Psalms says, King David says, Hayom imbe kolot ishmau, today, if you hear his voice, it doesn't say tomorrow, it doesn't say maybe, it doesn't say it could be, it says Hayom. Hayom is in Hebrew, today, if you hear his voice. And what do I mean by this? When we say today, if you hear his voice, you have to realize that you really can hear his voice. How? How do I hear his voice? How do I hear his voice? It is also written in the book of Psalms as follows. I say it in Hebrew because Hebrew is the script, it is the sacred language, the letters of Hebrew. The 22 letters in Hebrew are the 22 letters with which the Creator created and continues to create at every moment His world, His universe, the whole world. And these 22 letters in Hebrew are Lashon HaKodesh, the sacred language, and each letter has an impressive creative power. As I told you, the Creator creates with the Hebrew letters. The book of Psalms says the following. Hashamayim mesaprim kevod elu ma'aseh yadav magid harakia, which means the heavens, I'll translate it freely. Hashamayim mesaprim kevod, the heavens declare the honor of Hashem, of God, of the Creator. Hashamayim mesaprim kevod elu ma'aseh yadav magid harakia, the heavens declare the honor of God, and the sky proclaims the work of His hands. Yom veyom yavi haomer v'layla layla havedat, basically the days as well. Yavi haomer, there is a declaration, there is speech. Basically the Creator speaks to us. That is the message I want to give you. The Creator speaks to us. Hashamayim mezaprim kvod, the heavens declare the honor of the Creator. They declare mezaprim like sipur, a story. There is a dialogue. There is a dialogue between the Creator and us. The question is if and how you listen. You may say, I am not a prophet. That's true, you are not a prophet. But the Creator gives you reason. He gives you ears to hear, eyes to see. He gives you understanding to comprehend. And yes, as I started to tell you what I told you from the beginning, if you listen to the sound at the door, what do I mean by this? If you understand and reflect on what happened to the people of Israel in their history, a people who came back to life from the ashes, as it is written in the prophecy, the dry bones, the famous prophecy. They came back to life from being dry bones, 2,000 years in Galut, in the diaspora, persecuted by nations since Greece and since Rome, the Inquisition in Spain and the Holocaust, and pogroms in Russia, whatever you can mention from 2,000 years of history, and even more. And even more, going all the way back to the Bible, we have already been persecuted. It's impressive. So think about it. A persecuted people, exiled, taken to all the ends of the earth. Suddenly, when I say suddenly, it's true. It's decades. It's not in an instant. But if you look at it from a historical perspective, you could say it happened suddenly. Suddenly, it rises. Obviously, the Creator in His divine grace, His divine goodness, He lifts us up. And as I read to you in Deuteronomy and the prophets, Ezekiel, Amos, and others, He lifts us up and brings us from the ends of the earth to the land of Israel. The prophecies are fulfilled. The Hebrew language, which was really a language that only scholars in the world spoke for generations. The Israeli people in the land say, today we speak Hebrew. Today we speak Hebrew in the street. We speak Hebrew. We speak Hebrew. The language was reborn. The people were reborn, the land flourished, just as the prophecies say, everything the prophecies say. There is no people. You can look, you can ask an anthropologist, a doctor, a university professor. If there is a people like the people of Israel, that has a history. Not the same, of course not, but maybe similar. There isn't, and there never was, nor will there ever be, because the people of Israel, as it is written, we are the people of the Creator, and the Creator decided that we are His people, to be a light. For the nation, it is a blessing to the whole people, as He promised, as He told Abraham, obviously, that He will be a blessing for the nations. And that's what we are. and what we want to be, we try to be, with much affection and much love, much devotion and much respect and much humility, everything that obviously, to carry out the will of the Creator with joy or a heart, obviously. And all of that, you won't find it among any other people. It doesn't exist. Think about it. Think about it. If you study migratory movements, think about it. Let's take a simple example. A Chinese person in New York. 80 years ago, the great-grandfather from China arrived in New York. Obviously, he spoke Chinese. Chinatown, he spoke Chinese with his Chinese community. His children surely knew English perfectly, or almost perfectly, and they surely spoke Chinese quite well. The grandchildren, if they spoke Chinese, maybe just a few questions, a few words, probably yes, probably no, I don't know. Great-grandchildren. Difficult, like I said, it's nearly impossible from great-grandfather to great-grandchild. You can study the subject. Great-great-grandchild, just imagine the people of Israel, not just great-great-grandchild, 2,000 years, and not only in exile, but persecuted and faithful. The Torah in Yemen, in New York, in Australia, in Montevideo, in Buenos Aires, Rio, Sao Paulo, in Singapore, in Russia, Moscow, Leningrad, anywhere you can imagine, the Jews, the people of Israel, faithful to the Torah, the same Torah in Yemen as in New York and in Bangladesh or in Australia, wherever you can think of. The same Torah, the same laws, the same Hebrew, the same faithfulness to the Creator, the same faithfulness to the Torah, the same faithfulness to the land of Israel and to the people of Israel and to all humanity. That's why we came into the world, to be faithful to the Creator, faithful to humanity, faithful to the Torah, to be a light, God willing, for the nations. So God willing, what I told you has given you a lot of hope, a lot of joy, to know that you are living in a unique moment in history, that there never was. And what's happening today, that I can talk to you wherever you are in the world, I can talk. Maybe since the times of King Solomon, when there was the Holy Temple, in the time of King Solomon, the son of King David, as I recall, in that time, the nations really came. They brought offerings. There was peace in the world, material abundance, spiritual abundance. Spectacular. But the days of King Solomon, obviously King Solomon, the wisest of the wise, impressive, who brought an incredible blessing to the whole world. Since those days, as I told you, 2,000 years of persecutions, the people of Israel couldn't speak with the nations. Obviously, there was no one who wanted to listen either. Today, thank God, communication is open, and what is happening today is a blessing in general, in every aspect. The communication between the Israeli people and nations in different languages is spectacular. And all the blessings, as I told you, spiritual, material, political, economic, high-tech, startups, in whatever field you can think of, agriculture. People come from many parts of the world to the land. Israel, to get advice, to get training, in whatever you can think of. From technology to studying spirituality to studying politics or geopolitics or drip irrigation systems in agriculture. Incredible how many Jewish inventions there are. It's impressive. And this is, as I told you, it's not something exclusive to the people of Israel. Everything here is like a seed which is covered by the light of the Creator, and the goal is to be a light for the nations and to help all of us together help repair this beautiful, precious world that the Creator gives us so we can live in it and be partners in His creation. So, well, something I just remembered now, and I don't want to forget it. God willing, I'll try to remember. I'll put down here in the description of this video an exclusive club we have. It's called the Israeli Club. Hebrew wisdom, basically. Through Hebrew, we teach the Hebrew, Jewish way of thinking. And well, it's something very vast and I think it's a great blessing, God willing. So I'm going to put, God willing, a link down here. I'll try to remember down here a link where you can request information, get advice, and see if it's of interest to you. Because it really can be something spectacular, so may everything be filled with many blessings. And remember that you are a partner of the Creator. And every good thought you have, every good word you say, every good action you do, it really is something spectacular that brings light to the whole world. And may we always merit, God willing, with joy, a good heart, success and blessings.